The cold silence of space stretched for miles. Stars blinked like distant fires, but among them floated a small object that did not belong. Captain Rin sat in the command chair of the Galactic Empire's flagship, the Dreadnought, staring at the large display screen. His brow was furrowed, his mind racing. "This reading, it cannot be right," he whispered to himself. The computer had just finished scanning the coordinates picked up by the deep space sensors. A ship appeared on the screen. Small, tiny, almost laughable in size. But the energy readings coming from it were unlike anything the Empire had ever seen. Lieutenant Varric leaned over the console. "Captain, I've double-checked. The scan is correct. That is a human warship." Rin froze. Humans. He had heard the stories. They were supposed to be weak, almost extinct, a species hardly worth attention. Yet here they were, glowing on the sensors like a threat that could destroy a planet. "This is impossible," Rin muttered. "Humans have been gone for centuries. They don't even have ships this advanced." The crew murmured among themselves. Panic started to spread slowly. No one had seen anything like this in living memory. Even the Empire's historians had no record of a human vessel with this kind of energy output. Rin pressed a button. Zooming in on the ship, its hull was strange, almost sleek, reflecting the distant light of a nearby star. Tiny, yes, but every movement was precise, calculated, as if the ship knew exactly what it was doing. "Run the readings again," Rin ordered, his voice steady but his hands betraying a slight tremble. Lieutenant Varric did as commanded. Moments later, the results flashed back. The readings were the same. The ship was small, yet it carried energy levels higher than a full Imperial destroyer. The computer even highlighted it in red. "Anomaly. Human warship detected." Rin leaned back. He had read about impossible scenarios in the old Imperial records. Stories about humans that fought wars even when outnumbered. Stories that made generals shiver in fear. But this? Seeing a human ship in the middle of the galaxy after centuries of silence, it was beyond comprehension. "Alert the High Council," Rin said finally. His voice was calm, but inside, a storm raged. They need to see this for themselves. As the message was sent, the crew could not take their eyes off the screen. Some whispered quietly, some sat in silence. The feeling in the room was heavy. A tension hung in the air, thick and suffocating. Minutes passed. Then, suddenly, the ship moved. Slowly at first, then faster. The small object shifted its course toward the Empire's central system. "Course change detected," the navigator announced. "They are heading straight for Solaria Prime." Rin's heart sank. Solaria Prime was the Empire's jewel, a core system with strategic importance. If humans were attacking, no, not attacking, something was different. The precision in the ship's movement suggested intelligence, not blind aggression. The Empire's fleet scrambled to intercept. Hundreds of warships deployed, surrounding the path of the mysterious human ship. Sensors tracked every maneuver, calculating possible outcomes. Yet no one dared fire first. Something about this human vessel felt different. "Captain," Varric said, voice low, "they are not just moving, they are scanning us." Rin leaned forward. The ship's sensors were active. The humans were studying the Empire's fleet, learning, calculating. Every flicker of light, every movement of the ships was being recorded. "This cannot be," muttered Admiral Joris over the intercom. "How can a species believed to be primitive understand our technology so fast?" Rin didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stared at the screen. The ship slowed. It stopped, and then, astonishingly, a message appeared on the main viewer. A human face. Calm, controlled, confident. "I am Commander Arjun," the figure said. "We are not here to negotiate. We are here to change history." Silence fell over the command room. No one moved. No one spoke. Even the sensors seemed to pause, as if the galaxy itself waited for the next words. Rin's mind raced. Humans had always been underestimated, always seen as weak. But this was something else. Varric finally spoke. "Captain," they are speaking with authority. "They are fearless." Rin nodded slowly. Fearless. The word lingered in his mind. Humans have been written off, ignored, almost erased from history. Yet now, Standing in front of them, they carried a presence that made even the mightiest Empire officers doubt themselves. The human commander continued, "We watched as your empire rose. We watched as you conquered systems, enslaved species, and destroyed worlds. You assumed we were gone. You assumed we were weak. You were wrong." A murmur ran through the room. Officers exchanged worried glances. The calm voice, the small ship, the impossible energy levels, everything combined to create an atmosphere of tension no one could ignore. Rin's mind went back to the old records. Humans had been fighters, survivors, always underestimated until it was too late. "Prepare the defense grid," Rin ordered, though a part of him doubted it would matter. They might be small, but if they carry that much energy, we could be facing a disaster. The human ship made no move toward attack. Instead, it positioned itself in the orbit of the Central System's largest planet. Sensors could barely keep up. The Empire's finest minds tried to calculate the ship's next move. Every calculation failed. Suddenly, alarms blared. Energy spike detected. Weapons system overloaded. Rin and Varric exchanged stunned looks. The human vessel had done something impossible. Without firing a single shot, the Empire's defense grid had been partially disabled. "How?" Rin whispered, barely believing his eyes. "Not weapons," Varric replied, voice shaking. "It's some kind of technology we don't understand." The human commander's voice echoed through the command room again. "We do not need to fight like you. We have learned differently. We have studied your methods and adapted them. You will see our strength soon, but we do not start wars. We finish them." Rin sat back, exhausted, confused, and afraid. The Empire had always believed itself unstoppable. Yet here was a single human ship, small and unassuming, demonstrating power that could topple an entire system. The crew looked at each other, realization dawning on them. This was not just a human ship. This was the unexpected turning point. The moment history itself would change. Rin's eyes narrowed. "Prepare all logs. Document everything. If humanity has returned, we must know why, how, and what they want." As the human ship hovered silently, the stars around it seemed to shimmer with an unusual energy. It was not just a warship. It was a symbol that the weak were not always weak. That survival sometimes meant waiting, learning, and returning stronger than anyone imagined. The day the Empire saw a human ship in their sensors, the galaxy itself held its breath. No one knew what would happen next. But one thing was clear. Everything the Empire thought it knew about humans was about to be rewritten. And in that silent, tense moment, Captain Rin realized that history was not on their side anymore. The humans had returned, and they were not asking for permission. They were here to change everything. The Imperial fleet was in chaos. Officers and scientists rushed from console to console, checking and rechecking the impossible readings. Everywhere, murmurs of disbelief filled the command room. Captain Rin leaned over the main display, staring at the small human ship hovering near Solaria Prime. It had done nothing aggressive yet, and yet its mere presence had thrown the entire Empire into confusion. "Prepare the historical archives," Rin ordered. "I want everything we know about humans. Every report, every record, every fragment of history." Lieutenant Varric's fingers flew over the controls, pulling up files stored in the deepest Imperial database. Dusty old holobooks, declassified reports, and classified war files appeared on the screens. "Captain," Varric said, voice tense, "this is worse than we thought. Humans, they were never just a weak species. There is more to them than the records show." Rin leaned back in his chair. "Explain." Varric scrolled through centuries of data. Humans were traitors at first. Simple, small ships, primitive weapons. The Empire barely noticed them. They were thought to be extinct after Great Collapse, but every record we have, they survived. Hidden, learning, growing stronger. Rin's eyes narrowed. Hidden? How? Where? Varric pressed a few more keys, opening up maps of human settlement areas. They built underground colonies, some on planets we considered uninhabitable, some even in asteroid belts. They developed technologies we never thought possible, and they did it quietly, slowly waiting. A cold silence fell over the room. The realization struck every officer like a thunderbolt. Humans had survived despite everything. Rin clenched his fists. So the stories were wrong. The humans, they were never weak. They were patient, waiting for the right time. From the corner of the room, Admiral Jorah spoke, his voice trembling slightly. Patience and strategy. They let the Empire rise, watched as we spread across the galaxy, learning from our mistakes and weaknesses. And now, after centuries, they have returned, not as traitors, not as weaklings, but as something we cannot match. The human ship's small sensor seemed to glow as it hovered silently, almost as if it knew that the Empire was studying it. Commander Arjun's voice came to the comm again, calm and commanding. "You assumed we were gone," he said. "You assumed we were weak. But you were wrong. We have studied you, learned from you, and adapted. History will remember this day." Rin could feel the weight of the words. The humans were not just a threat. They were a force that the Empire had ignored for too long, a species that had been underestimated again and again. The historical files confirmed it. Humans had faced extinction multiple times. Wars, plagues, natural disasters, even internal rebellion had nearly wiped them out. Yet each time they had survived. They had learned. They had evolved. "Look at this," Varric said, pointing to a display. During the Interstellar War, humans were cornered. Their fleets destroyed, colonies bombed, their leadership decimated. Yet some survived, hidden in asteroid colonies. They rebuilt faster than anyone thought possible. Rin's face hardened. So every time we thought they were gone, they were preparing to return stronger. They learned how to fight, not like us, but better than us. The crew watched as simulations ran on the screens. Tiny human ships striking at massive Imperial fleets in calculated maneuvers. No brute force, no waste of energy, just precise strikes and retreats. "Look at their tactics," Varric said. "They never attack blindly. They wait, they study, they adapt. Every move calculated. The Empire, we are predictable. They know exactly how to counter us." Rin could feel a chill running down his spine. Humans had always been underestimated, and now, centuries later, that mistake could cost the Empire everything. "Captain," a young officer said nervously, "why now? Why have they returned after all this time?" Rin didn't answer immediately. He stared at the small ship on the screen, glowing like a silent storm. "Because it is time," he finally said. "They have waited, and we have grown arrogant. They will not forgive the Empire's mistakes." The human ship made no sudden moves. It did not fire, yet its presence alone had disrupted the entire Imperial fleet. Communications, defense grids, and even some weapon systems had been affected. The Empire's finest technology could not even touch it. Admiral Jorah shook his head. "It is as if they are rewriting the rules. They are not just returning. They are changing everything we thought we knew about war." Varric scrolled through more historical files, uncovering hidden data. "Captain, there are rumors of humans developing technologies we cannot imagine. Dark energy propulsion, adaptive shields, and AI systems that think faster than any Imperial supercomputer." Rin's heart pounded. "And all this time, we thought they were primitive, weak, extinct, and yet here they are, the forgotten species." The crew watched in silence as Commander Arjun's face appeared again on the main viewer. His expression was calm, almost serene. "You have watched us disappear," he said. "You have assumed we were weak. You have ignored us. And now, you will learn the cost of underestimating humans." The word sent shivers down everyone's spines. There was a power in them that went beyond weapons and technology. The humans had endured centuries of oppression, exploitation, and near extinction, and now, with patience and precision, they were here. Rin thought back to the old battles, the centuries of conquest. Every Empire general had believed themselves unbeatable. Every species they conquered had been considered weak. Yet humans had survived. Out of sight, but not out of mind. "Captain," Varric said softly, "they are more than a threat. They are a lesson, one we have ignored for too long." Rin nodded. "Then it is time we learn that lesson. Not with pride, not with arrogance, but with caution." The fleet began to move, repositioning to defensive formations, but Rin knew it was only a temporary measure. Humans were not just returning. They were here to remind the galaxy that patience and intelligence could outweigh brute force. As the screens displayed the ancient human colonies, hidden bases, and abandoned settlements now rebuilt with advanced technology, the crew realized the truth. The species they had written off, mocked, and forgotten had never truly disappeared. They had evolved, adapted, and prepared for this very moment. Commander Arjun's voice came again, calm but unwavering. We do not seek unnecessary conflict, but those who underestimate us will see what it truly means to challenge humanity. Rin felt a knot in his stomach. The humans were small, yes, but their presence was massive. Their history, hidden from the Empire's eyes, was proof that survival was not just about strength. It was about learning, adapting, and waiting for the right moment. The day the Empire realized the humans had returned was also the day they understood a simple truth. The forgotten species was no longer forgotten. The humans had survived, and now, the galaxy would remember them. Rin stood up, straightening his uniform. Prepare a full report for the High Council, he ordered. We must understand everything. Every secret, every tactic, every weapon. This is not just a human ship. This is history returning to remind us of our mistakes. The crew moved with urgency, but beneath the efficiency, there was fear, not of combat, but of what had been underestimated for so long. Outside, the human ship hovered silently, its sensors glowing faintly, a quiet storm in the endless void of space. It was small, but its impact was immeasurable. And in the silent tension of the command room, one thought rang louder than any alarm or warning. The humans were not gone. They had waited. And now, the Empire was witnessing the beginning of something far greater than any war. Something that would rewrite history itself. The forgotten species had returned. And nothing would ever be the same. The air inside the Dreadnought's command room felt heavier than usual. Every officer, every technician, every navigator moved with caution, as if the slightest mistake could cost them their lives. The human ship, small and unassuming, hovered just outside the orbit of Solaria Prime, yet it radiated an authority no one could ignore. Captain Rin paced behind the command chair, staring at the glowing display. Lieutenant Varric tapped rapidly on the console, trying to gather more readings. Every system they checked showed the same truth. The humans were not only advanced, they were calculating. Every move was precise. Every sensor reading was accurate. They're not approaching recklessly, Varric said. They're observing, learning, adapting. Rin nodded slowly. They have patience. We underestimated them for centuries, and now we are paying for it. The communication panel beeped. A calm voice echoed through the room. Everyone froze. This is Commander Arjun of a human vessel. Galactic Empire, we are here to speak. Lower your weapons, and no harm will come to you. A murmur spread across the room. No one had expected communication. Not like this. Not so calm. Rin took a deep breath and pressed the comm button. This is Captain Rin of the Dreadnought. We read your readings. We are aware of your presence. State your purpose. The human commander's face appeared on the main viewer. His expression was calm, almost serene, but his eyes carried the weight of centuries. We are here to remind the galaxy that humans have never disappeared, Arjun said. We have survived, learned, and grown. You assume we were weak, but weakness is only temporary. Strength is patience, strategy, and understanding. Today, you will witness our power, not through destruction, but through clarity. The room was silent. No one knew how to respond. The human ship had not fired a single weapon, yet the Empire's fleet felt powerless. Varric spoke, voice barely above a whisper. Captain, their technology, it's beyond comprehension. Their energy readings, no fleet we have can match them. Rin nodded grimly. Prepare defensive positions, but be ready. This is unprecedented. We cannot predict their next move. Outside the command room, the sensors showed the human ship making subtle adjustments. Tiny energy pulses emitted from its hull, not as weapons, but as signals, scanning the Empire's fleet, probing weaknesses, mapping defenses. Commander Arjun, Rin said carefully, why now? Why return after centuries of absence? Arjun's eyes seemed to pierce through the calm but intense. Because the galaxy forgot us. Because your empire believed humans were weak and extinct. We waited. We watched. We learned. And now, the moment has come for balance. Not through war, but through demonstration. The crew of the dreadnought felt a chill. Every officer understood that this was more than a simple encounter. This was history being rewritten. Suddenly, alarms blared. The sensors reported anomalies. Weapon systems began failing in random sequences. Lights flickered. The human ship had not fired a single shot. They are disabling our systems without attack, Lieutenant Varric said, eyes wide. It's as if they know our fleet better than we do. Rin gritted his teeth. They are not just here to fight. They are teaching a lesson. Arjun's voice came again, calm and measured. You assumed strength came from numbers and weapons. You assumed control came from fear. Humans have learned differently. Intelligence, strategy, and patience outweigh brute force. Today, you will see what it means to underestimate a species. The crew watched in awe as a human ship sent out pulses of energy that disabled the Empire's outer defense drones. The drones floated helplessly, systems frozen. The dreadnought itself shuddered slightly under the subtle pressure of the human energy field. Rin's mind raced. They are small, but every move is precise. Every strike calculated. And yet, they have not attacked. Not yet. Varric spoke again. Captain, they are testing us. Learning our weaknesses. Preparing for something bigger. Rin clenched his fists. Then we must be ready. Every system, every fleet, every weapon. Document everything. Understand everything. If humanity has returned, they are not here by chance. They are here for purpose. The human ship made a slow, deliberate approach. Commander Arjun's image remained calm on the screen. You will not be destroyed today, he said. We are not here to conquer. We are here to remind. Humans were never weak. You will see our strength, but not through rage. Through clarity. Through intelligence. Through patience. The crew felt a mixture of fear and respect. Humans, once believed to be weak, almost forgotten, were now commanding authority in the galaxy. Suddenly, a transmission from another fleet commander echoed through the dreadnought. Captain, the human ship is adapting our defenses. Our energy shields are fluctuating. Weapons are offline in certain sectors. Rin nodded. They are learning faster than we can react. Every move we make, they already anticipate. Outside, the human ship hovered silently. Its small hull glowed faintly, radiating energy that seemed to stretch into the void. The dreadnought and its fleet were massive, powerful, and armed to the teeth. Yet here, a single human vessel controlled the entire battlefield without aggression. Varric leaned close to Rin. Captain, if this is a first contact, it is unlike anything in history. No diplomacy, no trade, no war. Just strategy, pure intelligence. Rin nodded slowly. It is a warning, and we cannot ignore it. Humanity has returned not to ask for permission, not to negotiate. They are here to show the galaxy a truth we forgot. The weak are not always weak. Survival can be silent but deadly. The human commander's voice came again, steady and commanding. We have observed, learned, and adapted. We are not asking for permission, nor do we seek needless conflict. But those who underestimate us will see the cost of ignorance. Humans survive, not through force, but through understanding. Today, your empire witnesses that fact firsthand. The crew of the dreadnought sat in stunned silence. Outside, the human ship's sensors glowed brighter, scanning the massive fleet. Every officer felt the weight of centuries of underestimation. Every war they had studied, every species they had conquered, now seemed less certain. Rin realized something profound. This is not a battle, he whispered. This is history, and we are in the middle of it. The human ship moved slightly closer, yet still no attack came. It was almost as if it were testing the Empire's resolve, waiting for the right moment to show what humans could truly do. Captain, Varric said, voice shaking, they could destroy us if they wanted, but they haven't. They are teaching patience, strategy, intelligence. Rin nodded. Then we must learn. Quickly. Every move, every signal, every reading. Humanity has returned. And we are witnessing the first lesson. Commander Arjun's face appeared one last time on the screen. calm but filled with silent authority. We are humans, once underestimated, always resilient. Today, we remind the galaxy that weakness is temporary. Knowledge, patience, and strategy endure. Watch closely. Learn well. History is not as you believe. The human ship hovered silently, its tiny hull glowing faintly in the void. The dreadnought and its massive fleet felt powerless. Not because of weapons, not because of numbers, but because of strategy, patience, and intelligence that had been honed over centuries of survival. Captain Wren leaned back in his chair, exhausted and awed. He realized that the Empire had never faced anything like this. The humans had returned, not with rage, but with authority, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Outside, the stars seemed to shimmer around the human vessel, as if the universe itself acknowledged a species that had survived against all odds. Small, unassuming, yet filled with power, knowledge, and precision. The first contact had been made, and in the silence of space, one thought echoed in every officer's mind. The humans are back. And this time, they are not asking for permission. The dreadnought floated silently in orbit above Solaria Prime. The human ship had not fired a single shot, yet the Empire's fleet was already tense, shaken, and uncertain. Captain Wren sat rigid in his command chair, eyes fixed on the display screen. Every crew member could feel the unease in the room. "This is impossible," muttered Lieutenant Varric. "They are small, tiny even, and yet, every system we check, their energy output is off the charts. I've never seen anything like it." Wren didn't answer. Instead, he leaned forward, staring at the glowing outline of the human ship. He could feel the intelligence behind it. Every movement, every adjustment, every pulse of energy. It was not random. It was calculated, precise. "Little, prepare the fleet," Wren finally ordered. "We need full defensive positions. If they attack, we need to be ready. But keep your eyes open. This isn't a normal engagement." As the Empire's ships shifted into formation, the human vessel began to move again. Slowly at first, then with incredible speed. It weaved through the fleet, avoiding sensors and cameras with perfect precision. No weapons fired. No explosions. And yet, the dreadnought's shields flickered under the subtle pressure of the human ship's energy fields. Admiral Joris leaned toward Wren. "Captain, they are not just small, they are adaptive. Every shield, every weapon we deploy, they counter before we even act." Wren nodded. "They have studied the Empire. Every move we make, they have seen it before." The human ship floated for a moment, then fired a single pulse of energy toward one of the smaller Imperial destroyers. The pulse did not hit as a weapon. Instead, it connected with the ship's systems, and in a matter of seconds, the destroyer's engines failed and its shields went offline. The crew scrambled desperately, trying to bring the systems back online. "They are disabling our ships without attacking," Varric whispered. "It's like they know exactly how to break our systems." Wren's face grew grim. "They are teaching us, showing us our weaknesses, and we have no idea how far this goes." Then the display flickered. A new image appeared, a holographic projection of multiple planets and colonies, hidden system the Empire had never discovered. Varric's jaw dropped. "Captain, these are human bases," he said slowly. "Underground colonies, asteroid belts, even moons we thought were uninhabited. They've been hiding, building, learning." Wren's eyes narrowed. All this time, they were preparing, waiting, watching, and now we are in their reach. The human commander, Arjun, appeared on the screen again, calm, confident, unshakable. "You see," Arjun said, "we were never weak. We were patient. We learned from your attacks, your strategies, your mistakes. And now, we have become stronger than any empire could imagine." A sudden transmission interrupted him, an energy spike from one of the human ship's pods. It detached silently, floating toward the Empire's fleet. Sensors tracked it as it passed through shields, passing undetected by weapon systems. Then, in a flash of blue energy, the pod released a signal that overloaded the targeting systems of several Imperial ships. "Captain," Varric shouted, Their technology it's unlike anything we've ever seen. They disabled our weapons without firing." Wren's face was pale but resolute. Document everything. Every pulse, every movement, every system failure. We need to understand it before it's too late. Meanwhile, the human ship began deploying more pods. Each one glowed faintly, floating silently toward different points in the fleet. In seconds, multiple systems failed. Shields flickered, engines stuttered, communications lagged. The Empire's fleet, vast and powerful, felt powerless against a single, small vessel. Admiral Joris turned to Ren. "Captain, they could destroy us if they wanted, and yet they don't. This is not aggression. This is demonstration. Proof of what they can do." Ren clenched his fists. "They are not here to fight blindly. They are here to show strength. True strength. The kind that does not rely on numbers, weapons, or fear, but on knowledge, strategy, and patience." Varric pulled up another display. "Captain, look at this. Their engines, adaptive propulsion. Shield generators, self-repairing. Even their AI systems, they think faster than any supercomputer we have. They build technology we cannot even comprehend." Ren's eyes widened. "All this time, we thought humans were weak, almost extinct. Yet here they are, a species that has evolved beyond our understanding." Outside, the human ship moved closer, its sensors scanning the Empire's flagship. Every crew member felt a tension in the air, as if the very ship itself radiated authority. It was not large, not threatening in size, yet its presence commanded respect, fear, and awe. Arjun's voice came again, calm and steady. "You have watched us disappear. You assumed we were weak. You ignored us. But we survived. We adapted. We became stronger. And now, the galaxy will see the hidden power of humanity." The Dreadnought's crew exchanged glances. Even the most seasoned officers could not hide their astonishment. The humans had waited, planned, and learned. They had turned the weaknesses of the Empire into opportunities for demonstration. "Captain," Varric said softly, "they don't just fight with weapons. They fight with intelligence. Strategy. Every move they make is precise. Every calculation perfect." Ren nodded. "They are showing us that the real strength of a species is not in brute force. It is in survival, patience, and learning from every mistake. Humans have returned not as weaklings, but as masters of strategy." The human ship suddenly fired a pulse of energy toward the Dreadnought. It did not explode. It did not damage the ship physically. Instead, the pulse interacted with the Empire systems in a way no one understood. Weapons flickered. Shields fluctuated. Communication scrambled. The human ship had disabled critical systems without a single shot. Varric whispered, "Captain, this is war without violence. They've shown us our own weakness without attacking." Ren's jaw tightened. "This is the hidden power of humans. They do not need to destroy. They need only to show their strength, and the Empire learns." Arjun's face appeared one last time on the screen. Calm, commanding, resolute. "You believed humans were weak. You believed we were gone. And now you see the truth. We are the hidden power, the species that survives against all odds. And today, you learn that patience and strategy are mightier than force." The crew of the Dreadnought sat in silence. Outside, the human ship hovered silently, tiny yet imposing. It had not fired a weapon, yet the Empire had felt its power. It had shown strength without violence, intelligence without arrogance, and patience without haste. Ren realized the truth. The humans had returned not for war, but for history, to remind the galaxy that underestimation was deadly, that survival was more than strength, that intelligence, patience, and strategy could surpass even the mightiest fleets. "Prepare a full report for the High Council," Ren ordered. "We need to understand everything. Every move, every pulse, every weapon, every system. Humans have returned, and the hidden power of their species will shape the future of this galaxy." The human ship hovered silently, its glow illuminating the void like a quiet storm. The Empire could feel the weight of history pressing down upon them. One small ship, centuries in the making, had shown them a force no fleet could match without understanding it. And in the silence of space, one thought ran through every officer, every sailor, every historian aboard the Dreadnought. The hidden power of humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The silence of space was heavier than ever. The Imperial fleet floated, crippled and awed, before the small human ship that hovered with quiet authority. Captain Rin stood on the bridge of the dreadnought, staring at Commander Arjun's calm face on the main viewer. His officers were tense, but the truth was clear. Humans had changed the balance of power without firing a single aggressive shot. Admiral Joris, usually commanding and confident, spoke for the first time with hesitation. "Captain, we are powerless. Their technology, their strategy, everything we assumed about humans is wrong. They are not just strong, they are beyond us." Rin nodded slowly, his mind racing. "And they've shown it without violence. They have taught the Empire a lesson we cannot ignore." Outside, the human vessel hovered, still small, still unarmed in appearance, yet radiating power that dwarfed the Empire's largest fleets. Sensors confirmed it. Energy readings, propulsion systems, and shield efficiency all exceeded anything the Empire had ever developed. Every officer aboard the dreadnought felt the weight of realization. Humans were masters of strategy, patience, and survival. Arjun's voice echoed through the comms once more. Calm, authoritative, and commanding. "You have watched us return. You have seen the hidden power we have developed. You may call it a warship, but know this. It is not just a vessel. It is the embodiment of centuries of survival, learning, and evolution. We are humans, once underestimated, always resilient. And now we set the balance." A murmur ran through the dreadnought crew. They had faced countless species, countless wars, yet never had they encountered anything like this. A small ship, silent and unassuming, had shifted the galaxy's power with intelligence and precision alone. Lieutenant Varric broke the silence. "Captain, what do we do? If we engage, we risk annihilation. If we stand down, we admit that humans are superior. Every calculation says the same thing. We cannot win." Rin's eyes narrowed. "Then we must choose wisely. Humans are not here to destroy. They are here to remind. And if we make the wrong move, it could cost us everything." A communication from the High Council arrived. Their usual arrogance was gone, replaced by caution and fear. "Captain Rin," the message read, "we have assessed the situation. The human vessel, it cannot be engaged by conventional means. We'd advise surrender or negotiation. Failure could result in catastrophic loss for the Empire." Rin sighed. "Understood. Prepare a secure communication line to the human commander. We will hear their terms." The bridge fell silent as the transmission connected. Arjun's calm face filled the screen. "Captain Rin, officers of the Empire, know this. We do not seek conquest. We do not seek vengeance for the past. We seek balance, respect, recognition that humans were never weak, that survival, intelligence, and strategy can surpass brute force. Today, we offer peace, a chance to acknowledge the new balance of power in this galaxy." The crew of the dreadnought exchanged glances. Relief, disbelief, and awe were all mixed together. Humans had returned, not with anger, not with weapons of mass destruction, but with authority and wisdom. The Empire had been shown a force beyond their comprehension. Admiral Joris turned to Rin. "Captain, should we accept, or risk everything by refusing?" Rin's hand hovered over the communication panel. He took a deep breath. "We accept. Humans have demonstrated their strength, not through aggression, but through clarity and strategy. The Empire has no choice but to recognize the truth." The message was sent. Silence followed. The human ship floated calm, unthreatening. Then Arjun spoke. "Peace is offered. Respect is required. The galaxy must remember that underestimation is dangerous. Humans have returned not to conquer, but to ensure history never repeats the mistakes of ignorance." Rin nodded to his officers. "Prepare to relay this to the High Council. Humanity's message must be understood by all. They have shown mercy, but that mercy is not weakness. It is strength of the highest order." Outside, the stars shimmered faintly, reflecting the quiet dominance of the human vessel. The Empire had been humbled, not by violence, but by intelligence, patience, and unseen power developed over centuries. Varric shook his head in disbelief. "Captain, they could have destroyed us in an instant, and yet they showed restraint. They taught us a lesson. That is incredible." Rin turned to face his crew. "We have witnessed history. The humans have returned, not as victims, not as weaklings, but as equals, no, as a species that will shape the future of the galaxy. Our task now is to learn from them, respect them, and ensure we never underestimate another species again. A sudden alert came from the sensors. Small human pods, previously hidden, returned to the ship. Their glow faded, and the energy readings normalized. The demonstration was complete. Humans had shown what they were capable of, and now waited for acknowledgement. Arjun's voice came one last time, calm, commanding, and final. The galaxy will remember this day. The forgotten species has returned. Respect, not fear, will guide the future. Humans do not seek domination. We seek balance. Learn from this, and history will favor those who understand. Rin leaned back in his chair, feeling a mix of relief and awe. The Empire had survived, but it had been forever changed. A single human ship, centuries in planning, had shifted the balance of power, not through violence, but through intelligence, strategy, and restraint. The crew of the dreadnought felt it too. Fear, yes, but also admiration, respect. The humans had returned, and the galaxy would never again see them as weak or forgotten. Outside, the human ship departed silently, small and unassuming, yet leaving a presence that would echo across every system. Its energy faded, but the memory remained. The Empire and the galaxy had witnessed the hidden power of a species once underestimated. Captain Rin turned to his officers. Document everything. Every lesson, every movement, every strategy. The humans have returned. And this is not the end. It is the beginning of a new era. The dreadnought and its fleet followed silently, no longer filled with arrogance or pride, but with understanding. The balance of power had shifted. Quietly, without war, without bloodshed, humans had returned, and the galaxy would remember. As the stars stretched endlessly before them, one thought lingered in every officer's mind. The weakest species have become the strongest, not through hatred, not through fire, but through patience, knowledge, and strategy. The humans were back, and this time, the galaxy would never forget.